Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the show. And so we've been a little busy, but all good things must come to an end, right? So here we are, episode 8. Too much time, said nobody ever. Right? You ever got too much time?
No, definitely not.
Sometimes we have too little time and too many things going on, right?
Yes.
So tonight we're just kind of recapping a short trip that we had, a little mini vacay, and then we got another little vacay coming up soon. So one thing I want to talk about is like too much time. Like, not saying that you have way too much time on your hands, but maybe you spent a little too much time with somebody. Right? So there's an old saying that says like, fish and company in 3 days stink. People being around each other for longer than 3 days, it really start to stink. Their attitudes, and attitudes can usually get pretty wild in our house, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Teenager, pre-teenager, and the baby kid.
Yeah.
Right. 7-year-old doesn't really have much of an attitude, but I know it's coming. He's just preparing for those good days, right?
Right.
So, like, what we want to talk about is like people getting on your nerves. So, like, we've been together just a little while, right? Just a few short years.
Yeah, a little bit.
And do you know how to push my buttons?
Certainly, I do.
Do I know how to push your buttons?
Yes.
Yes. Like there's good things and bad things about knowing which buttons to push. If anybody's ever watched that old movie, Dennis the Menace, like the actual movie with Walter Matthau, they said, don't touch anything, right? And he's sitting there and he just can't stand it. Like when his mom took him to work and he's sitting in there and the lady's ready to use either the copier or the fax machine. I think it was the copier. And he's just sitting there and he's so antsy. And she's looking around, she's getting her stuff together and she's looking because she's like, which button do I push? And all of a sudden he's like, it's this one, and hits the button. And of course she's wearing this little scarf or tie and it sucks it right in. And she's latched to the screen, to the plate. And it's just taking pictures of her face, screaming and pulling, trying to get away. So that's what we do to each other a lot of the times. We'll just look and we're like, I know exactly which button to push. And it's like, it's this one. And then just wear it out, right? Yeah. So we have ways that we know that we can push those buttons. And we know when we can push those buttons. We've been together long enough, right? You know when to push my buttons and when to leave them alone. Yeah. Right? So what's my button?
What do you mean? Like,
what are my buttons? What are my buttons? What buttons do you push to get me?
So the one button is when you're ever so slightly aggravated over something stupid. That should not even aggravate you.
Right. Something very small, very, very minuscule, right?
Yeah.
Like,
then I can just be like, why are you aggravated over this kind of thing?
Looney Tunes, like smoke out the ears and everything. Yes. And then she knows which days she can push that button and which days she'll back off.
I also know when cardboard boxes fly at me to stop.
Yeah. So do I know which time is good and which time is bad to mess with you or to push your button?
Yeah.
I've figured some of those out. But another thing is being annoying, right? Tiffany
You're
has
not
this
really annoying. Well,
no, I'm not. I'm not very annoying. But you can push my buttons by being annoying.
Yes.
And there are these moods that Tiffany will get in, and she's just like her daddy, and she can hit that sore spot immediately and just wreck it over and over.
But then I have a hard time stopping.
Right.
I think it's funny.
It is. But it is. And when you look back over it, you think, you got me good. You really got me good. My mouth was open and everything. But Tiffany gets in these little moods where she'll be annoying, and she has no prejudice. She will be annoying to every person and just be giddy about it. Like she's giggling now because she's thinking about what can I do to him tomorrow. So like, have you ever been around somebody so much that you just think, ugh, just get away from me. I need a break from you. Huh?
Yes.
Yes. And there are people in your lives that you're just like, oh, I just need to get away from this person. I've been around them too much this week or too much this month. Maybe just too much at work. So no stone goes unturned when you're in this podcast. So we also have an issue in our home that we go to church. It is like
church is not the issue.
No. Church is not the issue. But we have an issue in our home that we go to church every Sunday, unless we're out of town for some reason. But it's one of those situations where you're getting ready to go to church, and by the time you get to church, you need to be at church.
Huh? Can I get an amen? There's like 3 y'all. Oh, we got 4 y'all watching now. Somebody better like that.
Yeah. So like there are times when you are fussing and fighting and arguing with everybody, and you're thinking, this is the day we're going to church.
This is my question. Sundays. Why is it so hard to get out of bed on Sundays? We can literally pop out of bed. Well, no, Bobby cannot pop out of bed with the alarm.
We've had this discussion.
I can pop out of bed as soon as the alarm goes off any day of the week except Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till the last minute, and then everybody's got a shower. It never fails. Everybody's got a shower on Sunday morning. You got to look decent. Get out of the door at a certain time, and yeah, it just puts me in a bad mood.
Yeah, and you're fighting and fussing and arguing, and everybody's gritting their teeth. And by the time you pull up in the church parking lot, then everybody's like, "Got to fix your tie. You got to brush off the animosity and fix your attitude. Put that smile on because you got to go in the door and make everybody think that everything's okay."
Plus, right? There's nothing that makes me madder. Like I think this is my biggest button. Speaking of button, nothing makes me madder. Is that correct? More madder? Whatever you say it. Anyways, then if I'm in a good mood, or even if I'm not in a good mood, and somebody's like, "Why are you so grouchy?"
Ooh.
Dude, I wasn't even in a bad mood till you asked me that. But instantly, I want to pinch your head off.
So there's a button. So any of you that are writing this stuff down, so just
don't use that one. Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
So we did have a great time this weekend. You see, like, if anybody's even noticed, I kind of try to change things up a little bit from time to time.
You're not supposed to tell.
You'll see things change in our room from time to time. But specifically today, I put this up as we had a great time yesterday. We had a Taekwondo tournament over in Little Rock, and Judah, our 7-year-old, did fantastic.
Yeah,
didn't he?
He did. I was so proud of him. When he got through, he said, like, you couldn't even tell he was nervous when he was out on the floor. Just him, little 7-year-old, all by himself with a bunch of adults watching. And he got through, and he came over there, and he said, "Mom, I'm shaking so bad."
But you couldn't tell it. I videoed it, and I'm trying to figure out some of this stuff. Like if I had it figured out ahead of time, I would have just kind of popped up the little video and shown you. But he did so good. He looked like a pro out there. Like, I mean, to be on that kind of a stage, and it's not like being in class where everybody's kind of doing the same thing, or they sit half the class down and the other half is up doing their thing. This guy was out on the floor, and I think there were somewhere close to like 260 people in this big gym over at the university, and he's standing there in a little red square all by himself, and had these judges watching him and everything, and he went through his thing and like knocked it out of the park. And I was like, man, look at that guy, just straight up. Dad was proud. I was a little bit nervous for him, but he rolled on through it and just made it look good. And so we had fun. We had a great time, and we stayed in a Verbo over there, and it was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
It's an old house. I'm a sucker for old houses and the character and stuff like that. The hardwood floors did it for me, but so anyway, I'm rambling here, but so the main thing is that we spent a lot of time together, Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. And Saturday was one of those times where if your attitude was not in check, then you could have easily flown off the handle with anybody that walked up and asked a question or anybody that said anything. We had a 2-year-old in there, and they kept changing our times to when we would have to do our stuff, and they kept changing our ring position. So we were picking up our bags and going to the other side of the world, and then they would text message us about 5 minutes later. We'd have to pick up our stuff, and you had to walk all the way around each time. You couldn't cut through the middle or anything. So we were playing musical rings for quite a while, and it was just a glitch in the system, but everybody kept everything in check. And it was a good weekend. We spent a lot of time together in a frantic situation
with no food.
No food, because every time I thought, okay, we can leave and go get some lunch, or we can run out to the truck and grab a snack, then you get another text message and saying that your ring was changed and you have to move to another place. So it's just to the point where you were dehydrated, because there was, a few bottles of water and stuff, but it's just not the routine. So
we'll be better prepared next time. Plus, it was our first.
This was our first tournament. So it was amazing. We had a great time, but we know how to make some adjustments for the next one. And we did really, really good. And I am super proud of my kiddos. Everybody's attitude was pretty good. Even the preteen. Like, there was a moment where we thought she was going to lose it.
Yeah.
But she held it together.
Yep.
And the baby kid, he held together pretty good. Did he even take a nap?
No nap.
So he didn't have a nap all day. We got there right around 8:00, and we didn't leave until 5.
4:30.
4:30 or 5. So I mean, that's a long time for a little guy. But we've been doing stuff together for so long. It's not like we just picked up and said, okay, look, we're going on a camping trip, or we're going to rent an RV, right? You've seen that Robin Williams movie.
Right.
And a lot of people have said RV stands for one thing: ruins vacation. And you get cramped up in a little bitty place, which we live in a little bitty place, right? So we're used to being at each other's side all the time.
It was kind of weird, speaking of a little bitty place, having the house for the weekend, and Bobby would go in a different room and talk to me, like, and then get annoyed when I walk in the room across the house and be like, "I'm sorry, babe, what'd you say?" "Nothing." Or he would just repeat it with an attitude. I'm like, dude, it's a real house. This is a real house.
We have space between us now.
There are walls and everything.
But yeah, I think we did pretty good. So, like, the meaning and the point to all this is that you can make anything work that you want to work. You can do whatever you set your mind to do. I'm 41 years old, and I had to go and do some stuff that some little guys are doing, and some guys have been in this stuff for quite a long time. And I was, a little bit out of my element. But you can do whatever you want to do. You can make the time. You can make your schedule to where it would seem that you have too much time together. And you ever think that you don't have enough time for something? Get an upset stomach, and you'll have all the time you need to stay in that bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Get an upset stomach, get food poisoning, and your schedule will change. But the world doesn't end, right? The world may stop for a moment, but then you can pick up where you left off, because everybody is able to adjust for a sickness or something that's going on, something that hits immediately. So if you can make things work through that, you can make time to spend it with each other. Because I want you to understand that us spending a lot of time together is just what we enjoy doing. But you got to make it a point. You got to make it a purpose. You got to make a plan to do it. You can't just expect for everything to fall in place and spend the time with the people that you love, because there's going to be one day where that person is gone, or something happens and your life takes a change or a turn and it's not what you expected. And then you think, God, what did I do with my time? What did I do with the things and the plans that I wanted to do? And then what happens 20 years down the road and you think, gosh, I should have done these things. Who's going to hit the pause button for you? Nobody. So make the time to do what you want to do, to make the plans and make it on purpose, to spend time with the people you love and the people that mean something to you, because one day that chance might be gone.
Right.
So right now you might think that I'm spending way too much time with you, or you're spending way too much time on something, but you might be able to look back over your life and think, man, I'm glad I did that.
Right.
Because I have the memory burned into my brain of watching my little guy do his thing all by himself, and to see that smile on his face when he was done, and those judges clapped for him and told him good job. And it just, he didn't get a participation trophy. He actually competed and did quite well, especially for his first time. And he's a little small for a 7-year-old, right?
A little,
A
yeah.
little small for a 7-year-old. And he went up against some kids that were, almost a foot taller than him, and held his own. So I'm proud of him. I'm glad I have that memory. I'm glad I have that experience to share with him, instead of just saying, oh, buddy, I saw your video, or, hey, mom told me you did a good time. Because here's where our culture and our society kind of splits things up, because mom and dad were there, right?
Yeah.
Mom and dad.
You also have to remember in those situations, especially situations like yesterday, no food, no water, we could have all gotten cranky. I thought about it. I did think about it for a minute. I'm in this gym. It's hot. There are tons of people in here. I don't even like people, first of all. There's no food. I didn't eat breakfast, but when I found myself going to that place, I just remembered, we're in this together, that we're here to support, because Bobby, you participated too. Mm-hmm. But anyways, to support Bobby and Judah, and to be here for them, and just to be together as a family. So just remember, attitude is everything. So if you find yourself getting a little bit pissy, then just
suck it up, buttercup.
Suck it up and just be like, okay, I'll be okay. I will eat at some point.
You're not going to die, right? I mean, a lot of people kill themselves dieting, but to spend.
I ain't missed any meals.
To spend some time with the ones you love, and to do something that you put your mind to, then everything else is details. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, all that stuff is details. That if you're getting a headache or whatever, then run and grab something. They had opportunity. There was opportunity for us to go. And one of us could have ran and got something or whatever. But,
and you got to remember to make it a team effort.
Right.
You didn't just push the boys, the baby, off on me. It was a team effort. We both pulled our weight and
right.
worked it out together. So
right.
that also helps, because
yes.
a lot of times, and I'm not talking bad about you dads, but I kind of am, but a lot of times the dads will just be like, you're the mom, you take care of the kids, you know what they need. And then that just puts strain on the whole relationship.
Right.
That puts strain on the whole everything. So,
well, because the dads, and this is common, the dads are usually detached. That the dads normally, I'm speaking stereotypically here, dads normally go to work, come home, and we're worn out. And then they're the dads that go a little bit above and beyond, and and spend time with the kids. And, we can be real here. This is the whole point, that, a lot of dads will live their dreams through their children, and they'll push them to play sports. They'll push them through everything and try to live out that dream. Oh man, if I could have just done this. Well, now if I can just get my kid to do this. Well, like Judah loves to do Taekwondo. So guess what? I get the ability to do that with him. And Allie, she doesn't love it quite so much, but she does it. And she loves it because she gets to spend time with me and Judah. We're all in the same class. So we're doing this stuff together to be a part of each other's lives, to spend more time, because one day, like I said a while ago, one day time is going to change for your life, and you're going to look back and you're going to think about the past instead of what am I doing now. You're going to be locked into what should I have done. So take these days, take these moments. Like, there are memes that I see all the time, that your job can replace you. You're just a number, but to your family, you're somebody. To your family, you're everything. Because you got to think, if if something changed in your life, where would your family be? They'd be right there for you. They'd be right there with you. And if you let all that slide to chase a dream that may not come true, or you're chasing $1, then what happens at the end of the day? Money's just money. Yeah. You can live happily. You can have joy in your life without having a pile of money. Now, money makes things a little easier, right? I'm not stupid. But if you just chase that dollar, that company can replace you in a heartbeat. That company can fire you tomorrow.
And even beyond that, ultimately, your kids don't care how rich or poor you are. Honestly, they don't even really know. They just want your time.
Yeah. My kids have no concept of money. No. They have no concept of where it comes from or how we get it or why the lights are on. They just know that they hit the switch and the light comes on.
And they just know they want mom and dad to play with them. Mm-hmm. I mean.
Yeah. And that's really the crux of it all is.
You got a short 18 years.
Yeah.
Really, not so much 18, because once they hit 15-ish, they don't really like you as much.
Right. They know it all. You know nothing, and they want to do their own thing. So just think about the time. Think about how short time really is, how short life really is, and look back over the years and think, man, it took forever for April the 3rd to get here. But then look at how quickly the last 10 years have gone by. So don't spend the years in regret. Spend these years, spend the time that you have, not living it crazy, but living it up to the best of your ability with the people you love. That's the major thing. That's the major point for today is, don't get so wrapped up in life that you miss out on it.
Even more than just kids, though, because we live around family, like parents, grandparents, or
great grandparents.
Yeah, within walking distance. And at times it can get a little annoying and you're like, oh, why are you here? Or why do you want me to come there? But then I just have to remind myself that, I won't always be here. My parents won't always be here. My grandmother won't always be here. So enjoy the inconveniences.
Yes. And take time for some of the inconveniences.
Yes.
Be spontaneous and change up the schedule. Take a day off every now and then, for crying out loud. There's so many people that are so busy that they never really shut down until their body says, okay, now's your day. Today's the day that you shut down. And then you feel like crap and can't do anything.
Right.
Take a mental health day and call in sick to work. You know what? Tomorrow's Monday.
And it's nice weather.
It's a perfect day tomorrow. And now, take it. Tell them that Bobby told you to call in sick.
Yes. Or don't call in sick. You might really get sick. Just say you need a personal
day. Tell them you need a personal day. And, just take some time for the people you love. So thanks for being with us tonight. We had a great time. We've got a great time coming up that we planned. And we're gonna spend the time hanging out with our kids in a campground, in the woods, and just trying to have the best time possible, right?
Yep.
So take that time, make it happen. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with our jokes and our laughing and giggling. But thank you for being here, because we want to show you guys that it's possible.
And my beautiful hair.
Yep, and her beautiful hair. It's crazy, like our lives.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Y'all have a great night.